What's going on, Dolphins? It is your boy Dillon, and I am here to do the quick hit scouting report video that I mentioned in my previous video, and that I told you guys I was going to make today. This one being for the New Orleans Saints. So let's go ahead and jump right in. They did lose this past week, dropping to 5-5 on the season, allowing the Eagles to improve to 5-6 after losing 40-29. Let's go ahead and take a deeper dive into this. So New Orleans had only 323 total yards, allowing 380. They had 214 through the air, allowing 138. They had 109 on the ground, but they allowed 242 rushing yards. Crazy. They had 5.2 yards per play to the 4.9 of Philly. They each lost a fumble, and New Orleans threw 2 interceptions. So obviously that doesn't help, and that very well could have been the difference, right? And likely and certainly was part of the difference for sure, right? Scoring possessions and whatnot. Let's see. They didn't allow any sacks, though, New Orleans, and they did get 3 of their own. They were 46% on third down, which is okay, but they did allow 57%. Obviously, that doesn't help. They allowed Philly to have the ball for 37 minutes and 1 second and only possessed it for 22:59, so time of possession doesn't lean in their favor, right? And then New Orleans only had 3 penalties to Philly's 6. Okay. Well, let's jump back up here. So they allowed Jalen Hurts to throw for 13 of 24, 147 yards. Miles Sanders led the way rushing, 16 rushes for 94 and a 5.9. Jalen Hurts added 18 rushes for 69 yards and 3 touchdowns with a 3.8. So he obviously didn't do very much in the passing game. But with these kind of, rushing numbers and 3 rushing touchdowns to add on to it, obviously pretty good for Jalen Hurts. Jordan Howard added 10 for 63 and a 6.3, and Boston Scott 6 for 16 and a 2.7. Receiving, Dallas Goedert was 5 of 8 of 62. Devonta Smith 4 of 6 for 61. JJ Arcega-Whiteside 1 for 23, and that's really all you got about there. But yeah, so, as you guys know, I had 2 different predictions for the season. The one prior to training camp and the preseason, which was my original, and then my revised prediction right before week 1 after all of that stuff occurred. And, but either way, whichever one you want to look at, I had the game against the Saints as a loss. Obviously, we'll see how that plays out. I'll speak on that in just a little bit more in just a second. But for right now, let's go through these stats. Trevor Siemian was 22 of 40 for 214, 3 touchdowns and the 2 interceptions. Mark Ingram, 16 rushes, 88 yards and a 5.5. Trevor Siemian added 2 rushes, 16 yards and a rushing touchdown with an 8 average. In the receiving game, Traquan Smith was 5 of 8 for 64. Adam Troutman 5 of 8 for 58 and a touchdown. Marquez Callaway 1 of 4 for 26 and a score. Mark Ingram 6 of 8 for 25. Nick Vannett 1 for 20. Deontay Harris 2 of 5 for 11. And they do have some weapons on their offense. Yeah, look, I just think that they're probably I do think that they, especially as of right now, are the better team. I definitely think they have way better coaching. It is going to be a Monday night game, and it is in New Orleans. So, I've had this game as a loss. And again, that last 3-game stretch is in New Orleans, in Tennessee, and then back home for the New England game. And I just think those are going to be 3 really tough games. And as of right now, I have the New Orleans and Tennessee games as a loss. I have had the New England game as a win for the entire time with, either my original or revised prediction. But I did have us originally, or in both of those scenarios, I actually did have us splitting with the Patriots. Obviously, we won the first game. And at this particular point in the season, I actually think that is likely to be the case. I do think that last 3-game stretch is going to be really tough for us. But anyway, let's go ahead, and there is obviously still time before these games, so let's just focus on this for now. So the New Orleans Saints are currently, and look, again, there's definitely going to be some opportunities for us. They're not particularly great on offense in some of these categories, as you can see, especially when it comes to total yards and passing yards. They're decent in the run game, and they're decent with points. So, it's going to be a fight. I don't think it's going to be easy by any means, but we could certainly come away with the win. They just have to play, that top tier defense that we've seen for a few weeks. It wasn't so much the case in this past game against the Jets. They still did okay, but they got to play like they played against the Ravens, let's say, and then the offense has to be a little bit more efficient and be able to at least keep pace. So anyway, because they're getting 25 points a game, and, we have a hard time even getting to 20. So, let's see. But right now, they're currently 26th. And now, for added context, though, they currently have played 10 games. So, obviously, there is still a little bit of a disparity between, teams because of the fact that some have played more, etc., etc. But anyway, so because of bye weeks and so on and so forth. Obviously, once the bye week, I think week 14 is the last set of byes. I think that's the latest that they go. I think after week 14, they're all done. So, once we get to that point, everything will even back out, and we'll have a little bit more accurate picture. Anyway, but so for right now, they're 26th in total yards, 3,213 on the season. They're 24th in yards per game, 321.3. They are 30th in total passing yards with 2,146 and 29th in per game average at 214.6. They're currently 17th in total rushing with 1,179 on the season, but 13th in per game average with 117.9. When it comes to points, they are 14th in the league, or 13th after ties in both categories with 251 total and 25.1 per game. Third downs, they're not particularly great on third downs, so this could be an area in which, especially our third down defense is still not great as for the entire season, but it has been improving a little bit, so hopefully this is an area in which we can take advantage. They're only 21st in the league at 38.3%. Defensively, now this is where it gets harder for the Dolphins, and honestly, the funny thing about it, and the same thing goes for Carolina this upcoming week, same thing goes for New Orleans, Tennessee, and New England in the last 3 games, and that's part of what I fear is going to make these games difficult and potentially could wind up as losses, because these defenses that we have to face, Carolina, New Orleans, Tennessee, and New England, are pretty damn good defenses. So at least as of right now, statistically, and to this point of the season. So currently, they're 10th in the league, giving up 342 yards per game. They're 21st in passing, though, so an area in which we might be able to exploit and take advantage. They're giving up 267.1 per game. They're 3rd in rushing, though, with 89.8 rushing yards per game. They're 10th in points, only giving up 21.8. Takeaways, they're currently 14th or 8th after ties with 14 on the season. They have 11 interceptions, which is 9th or 5th with ties. Not particularly great at fumbles, but obviously it balances out with those interceptions. They only have 3, which has them 29th or 8th after ties. They're all right in the sacks department. Obviously some, right here in the middle of the pack. They have 23 on the season, which is 17th or 9th after ties. Passes defense, though, they're pretty good here. They have 50 on the season, which is 6th or 5th after ties. And they're 14th in third down defense with 39.4% given up. So there you have it. And these are the Dolphins' current offensive and defensive league standings, fully updated through all of the games that have been played to this point. And that is where I'm going to wrap up and end this scouting report video. Before I get out of here, make sure you check out the Rave On Sports App, the new fan-driven sports app for all of your sports, basketball, baseball, football, whatever it is, whatever you like. And they're looking to enhance your game day experience with live play-by-play coverage, live chats with other fans, content creators like myself. Look for the description box for the links to that. And with that, I'm going to get out of here. I hope you guys appreciate my perspective. If you do, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the bell if you want to get the alerts. Share my channel and videos with your friends and family. Leave your questions, comments, and concerns down in the comments section. And, of course, as always, follow me on Twitter at DillonTartaro. And with that, I am out. I'll see y'all soon. Phins up.